Hello, good morning. I hope that everybody is well. It seems such a long time since I have been sat here talking to you. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 weeks. Time has just sort of gone in a flash. My trip to the US was amazing. It was so wonderful to be with my friends. And even though we'd had Zoom calls and Facebook Messenger audio and video calls, there is really nothing like being with somebody in person. It was so special. I don't want to bore you, but I want to talk about the trip because it's been the highlight of the last 2 years. I met up with Linda in London, and it was both of our birthdays a very short time before we got together. So we had a celebration meal at one of my favourite restaurants, Marcus Waring. And Linda treated me and I treated Linda. And we were so fortunate then that when we were there, Craig Johnson, who was the 2017 or was it 2019? With COVID, you get confused about dates. But anyway, he was the winner of a professional MasterChef, and he was in the kitchen. And we were so fortunate that we were invited into the kitchen to meet him. And we could watch him overseeing, the final touches to the food before it went out. And he actually invited us behind, right into the working kitchen. So we were his side of the prep table or the finishing table. It was absolutely wonderful to see, and we were so amazed by how many people were working in that kitchen. It almost seemed as there was more people working in the kitchen and serving than there were people eating. Anyway, it was a fabulous start to our trip. The next day we moved to the Sofitel, which is the hotel that's actually attached to T5 at Heathrow, which means you walk out of the hotel straight into the airport. So we had to have our COVID test done, which is a US requirement for us to enter the country. And I must say, it all worked very well. We went and sat in a coffee shop to wait our results, and they were emailed to us, and we were both so nervous that we were shaking as we were opening the emails. And I was shaking so much I managed to wipe my email off. So it's a bit of a panic station, but we managed to recover it and open it, and it was just like you're scanning down quickly trying to read the results, and we were both negative, so we were clear to fly. Now, in the hotel that night, we were sat next to a couple. They were on the table next to us, and we could hear a Welsh accent, and of course I'm from Wales, so we got talking to these people, and it turned out that the lady had done the wrong test, and they had gone to go through, and they were refused, they were not allowed to check in, and they had had a dreadful day trying to rearrange testing and flights, and they were seriously out of pocket. So it just goes to show how crucial it is to have the right paperwork and the right test as well. Anyway, we had a wonderful flight over. Linda is recovering from a knee replacement, so she had wheelchair assistance in the airport. And when we got to Nashville, I can't remember why, because we were tired, but somehow, I think it was Linda went down in the lift and I went down in the escalator, and we got split up. So I was looking for Linda and I found Sissy. It was such a lovely surprise to see Sissy. The last time I saw Sissy was 2 years ago at the last Nashville show, where we shared a sales room, and we said goodbye in Nashville and we said hello in Nashville. So that was really great. And Melissa and Deborah were there to pick us all up. Sissy was going to be staying at Melissa's house, and it was a surprise for us that she was coming. So, you know, we all had so much to tell each other that it was like a chatter in the car, and oh, it was just so lovely. Anyway, the next day I gave a talk to Chapter 7 of the Colonial Dames of America at this fabulous country park, and I was so overwhelmed that some friends travelled quite a long distance to come and hear my talk. There were lots of surprises, and I think in total there were about 15 needleworkers who were guests of Melissa there, and then the rest of the room was made up of the ladies of the Colonial Dames of America. And I had initially been a little bit apprehensive about giving a talk to non-needleworkers about needlework, but because a huge part of my needlework is about history, and I talked about history. As soon as I started, all of these ladies, you could see that they were really interested and they were following what I was saying, and you know, that's so inspiring when you're stood in front of a room of people and you can see that they are really taking on board and absorbing what you're saying. So that was absolutely wonderful. The next day we went to Nashville Needlework Market, and you know, we were just bumping into so many people we knew. It was absolutely wonderful to see Jean Lee. You know, Jean's very, very precious to me, and although we probably chat every few days, there's nothing like being able to hug somebody, and it was so nice to see Jean looking so well. Anyway, a lot of rooms that sold out of charts. There's early bird shopping on the Friday night, and you know, a lot of things that I wanted to get had gone, and in particular linen. It just goes to show you have to keep a good stock of linen, because it's, you know, it's just, it goes whoosh. We had a wonderful time, really, really nice, and we shopped on the Saturday and Sunday, and we were absolutely exhausted by the end of it, but you know, we managed to get a lot of stuff, and we did a stash haul video, which I know that many of you have enjoyed. On the Sunday night, it was our Outlander pajama party, and we went into Melissa and Deborah's room to watch Jamie, and Deborah and Melissa surprised us with a traditional English tea. So we saw the first episode of the latest series in our pajamas, eating these beautiful English scones, which scones in England are not the same as your scones in the US, with cream and jam. It was lovely, with a lovely pot of English tea, and we stitched as we watched Outlander. We had a long list of things that we were going to do on the Monday and the Tuesday, but we decided we were too tired to do any more walking, so we spent 2 days sitting and stitching and talking and watching Outlander from, we watched the very first episode, and then we went through, and we had a fabulous time. We stopped to eat, and you know, we just stitched, and I worked on my travel project, which is a Robson, and here she is. She's finished. I really enjoyed stitching on this little sampler, and this was a perfect travel project. If you recall, I had intended to put my border in, because a border is something you have to concentrate on, and I got a bit carried away and I put my dividing rows in, but when I was travelling, all I had to do was fill in my lettering, and that was a really lovely stitching to do, whilst really my mind was on Outlander and stitching with my friends. And on the plane, you know, that was a really, really comfortable stitch to be working on. And I was very fortunate. On the plane, I had a really super spotlight, so I didn't actually have to get my Mighty Bright light out. When I was stitching in the hotel, I used my Mighty Bright on my little hoop. when I posted this photograph of me stitching on the plane, I understand that some people thought I was stitching in hand, and it does look like that because you can't see the hoop, but the little hoop I was using was the one I showed in my video when I was packing my stuff to travel, and it's so small it literally sits perfectly in the palm of your hand, and that was really great as a travelling hoop. The other thing that I was really pleased about travelling was my hand and lock case. This was perfect. It fitted in my handbag. It matched my handbag as well because I travelled with a red handbag. But in here I had everything I needed for this little project, and you know, it was robust enough to protect everything. It didn't scratch in my handbag at all, and although it's not leather, this is vegan leather, and you would not really tell the difference. But what was really great was that before I put it back in my handbag, I could wipe it down with, you know, sanitizing wipes. Airports and aeroplanes, they are very dirty places, and because of the amount of travelling I do, I very quickly learned to travel with wipes to disinfect the area where I sit. So anyway, I'm waffling about this now, but this worked really well. If I'm travelling with a project that needs more colours, I will use the larger version in future, but I do tend to keep my travel projects to a single or, you know, just a handful of colours. On the way back, I had the most awful scare. When we got to Heathrow, Linda's wheelchair had not turned up, and we were the very last people to disembark the plane, and even at that stage her wheelchair hadn't turned up. So anyway, Linda struggled up the ramp, and when we got there, we got into the actual terminal, we found an abandoned wheelchair. So Linda got in it and I was pushing her in this wheelchair, and then coming towards us was this motorised, sort of almost like a little train where many people, disabled people, can sit on it. So we flagged them down, and it was the one that was meant to be coming to pick us up, but very late. So we got on board, and it took us to border control, and we went in parts of Heathrow that I'd never been before, right down in the basement, and there is a maze of almost like tunnels really in this basement. And we got to border control, where you have to normally scan your passport, but at this time you also have to show that you've got the right paperwork with regards to COVID. Anyway, the queue for people in these wheelchairs was very long, and at this stage we were really worried about our baggage, because the baggage had to have been out quite some time on the carousel. So Linda and I split up, and I went through you know, the walkthrough for, you know, anybody who's got UK citizenship, and that worked really well. And when I got to the baggage carousel, there were very few people waiting for luggage, and there were very few cases on the carousel. And unfortunately, 3 of my suitcases were not there, and I tell you what, it is a heart-stopping moment. I went to BA Customer Services, and they checked our baggage receipts, and they confirmed that 3 of our suitcases were still in JFK. Anyway, I just burst out crying. I had to phone my husband because he is my rock, and he calmed me down, and we thought logically about it. So I phoned the number that customer services had given us, and by that time they had actually already located our suitcases. They weren't lost, they had just been delayed being put on the plane. So the next day my suitcases were in the UK, and they will be delivered to me tomorrow by courier. Such a relief, but I won't rest easy until my suitcases are with me. So I've got nothing to show you in this video from my Nashville trip. I've got some new silks from a Vera Soir, which I am dying to play with, and I will show you those next weekend. And next weekend, I hope, if all goes to plan, that we're going to have a really, really lovely sampler parade. We shall see. Anyway, what have I got to show you? Well, I've had a few things come whilst I was away. Linda had this light for travelling, and she also had a halo daylight lamp as well. And when Linda showed me what was in here, I decided I wanted one, so I ordered it whilst I was in the States from the UK, and it was delivered to my home. Now, this case is a hard shell case. It's daylight, and when you open it, and I haven't actually taken this out of the bag yet, you have a light. And let's just open it up. I've got to remember how Linda showed it to me. So it's really, really compact. But when you open it up, isn't that amazing? And it's really, really flexible. So you can put it in all sorts of positions. It doesn't twist though. And this is USB powered, and you can also charge it as well. So it's a, you don't have to have it plugged in to use. I don't know if there's any power. Oh yes, look, there is power in it. Does this go up? Oh, that's actually a really nice level of power. So anyway, oh, it's got 3 power light settings. So this is my new travel light. It's a lot more compact than the halo light. Let me just turn that off. My halo lights case is about this long, and this will act, and because of its length, it's difficult to fit into a handbag or a medium-sized tote. But this will fit in really, really nicely in my handbag. Now, what is the model? We had this conversation when we were there. I can't see what this is, but if you go onto the Daylight website, you will find this. Really, really pleased with it. And I'm looking forward to using this. Oh, I found the name. This is called a Foldy Go. F for Freddy, O-L-D-I, new word, go, G-O. So it's a Daylight Foldy Go lamp, LED. Wonderful. And you have a USB cable with it, and you also have a plug to plug the USB cable into. I don't think I will actually take that with me, because I have so many of these for my phone and my iPad. Talking of iPads, Linda and I went to the States with 4 iPads. We came home with 1. So I am filming this on my iPhone until my iPad is returned, or my 2 iPads are returned to me tomorrow. It might be fun editing this video, so if it's a little bit sort of messy when I post it, I do apologise. Okay, it's been wonderful whilst I have been travelling to receive so many emails and messages showing me progress on Mrs. Campbell's sampler. We've had a finish, and lots of people are really well into this sampler and really enjoying her too. She is such an amazing sampler. It's really so rewarding for us to see other people enjoying working on her. There's been some great starts on Mary Wigglesworth. And this is such a lovely sampler. It's such a warm sampler. It emanates warmth and love and compassion. I think Mary had a really big heart. Beautiful sampler. And, thank you for everybody who has started to stitch her. It's so inspiring. It makes us want to reproduce more samplers to share with you. I have one more sampler here, which is Fanny Bramley. And I've made a start on her. Now, I didn't put my linen on straight, so she looks a bit crooked, but I was tired when I put the linen on this sampler. What I was attracted to by this sampler was the border, and this border works all the way around the sampler. The colours are mouth-watering, and there's not many colours in this sampler, but you'll see more colours as I work up, and I will share my progress with you. I always like to have different samplers, and I've never seen this border before on a sampler, and it's a super border to stitch. Very, very easy. You know, basically you're stitching 4 stitches, then you go up 1, up 2, back down, another 4 stitches, and there are 4 parallel lines of that. And it was really funny. I didn't get to listen to my Outlander book whilst I was travelling, so I decided that because I'm spacing this book out so it really lasts me a long time, so I normally only listen to it when I'm walking Hugo and Bertie by myself, and because I hadn't walked the dogs for 2 weeks with travelling, last night I decided to have a little bit of a Outlander Go Tell the Bees binge, and as I was stitching the word Fanny, Fanny was in the story at that point, and I thought, gosh, what an amazing coincidence. Right, so I have a few other little things to show you. I received these little wooden cases, which are really ideal for your needles, and these came from Australia. Sandra sent them over to me. We both love needlework pretties and wood items, so we're always sharing things between us. Sandra came across these and sent them to me, and what's really lovely with these, that they are made with Australian woods, and I think Australia is probably quite proud of their woods, because whenever Sandra sends me these things, there's always like little cards with them that tell you about the wood. One of these is silky oak, and the other one is Australian blackwood. Really nice, and you know, there's a craftsman there that took a lot of care turning those. I came home to a birthday present from a dear friend, and this present arrived just about an hour after I left to go to the States, and it's this gorgeous shaker sewing box. It's really beautiful. The wood is just gorgeous, and this is it says on the bottom, Orleans Carpenters, and inside there is a little tag. Oh gosh, it started to rain out there. We had terrible weather last night. It was absolutely horrendous. We were battered by a storm, and there was this huge crash, and I know that we've got a lot of slates off our roof because they came off the main roof and landed on our veranda roof, but we'll face that tomorrow. If I don't look at it, I don't have to worry about it. These are really beautiful, and yep, it is Orleans Carpenters. And this box will be treasured and enjoyed and used. Very, very nice. So my friend knows how pleased I am and touched by that gift. The other thing I want to show you is this project bag. Now, if ever you go to an event at the attic, Jean always has the most amazing gifts for workshop attendees, and this is a project bag that was made especially for an event at the attic. It's a gorgeous shade of red. I really love it, and it's got this lovely piece of lace. It's got this little pocket that you can put what the project is, and then inside you've got this beautiful lining, and this project bag is so beautifully made. It's perfectly made. the back is the same fabric, and then inside you have a contrast fabric, and you have this little Ort bag. And little Ort containers, they are so important while you're stitching, especially when you're stitching away from home. Nothing worse than leaving little bits of cotton around you in a public place. This little pouch, it's fabulous. It's got 2 vinyl pockets so that you can put tools. So this is an open one, and this is a zip down one. And again, it has this really beautiful lining fabric. I'm not sure who made them, but I do know that it's got the Attic label on, because these were made especially for jeans. I don't know who made them, but this is an Attic project bag. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and it's got this lovely little fob on as well. Really, really nice. I would like to get some of these for me to put things in for some projects, bags that I have. If anybody knows where to get these, I would very much appreciate you sharing a link with me. Anyway, I will use this project bag with great joy. Just beautiful colour of red. What else have I got? Oh, this was a birthday present, and I nearly died when I opened the box. I was so excited, I just could not believe it. Look at this shaker box. Look at this beautiful lid. Really, really fabulous. And it's just beautiful. I think it was made by P. Savage in 2019, and it says inside, designed at Fry's Mill, Frye. This box has been individually hand painted, carefully worn, then hand rubbed with our own oil finish to give it the age-old patina of a cherished antique. And that's Fry's Measure Mill. And this was made by P. Savage. The weight in this is quite a heavy little box. It's really substantial, and the person who sent this to me, she knows how thrilled I was with this. This I have put on my dressing table among all my little precious treasures. I think that's the way I should describe it. So beautiful. One other thing I've received is this Kohana little bag, and this is sort of like a project craft bag. You have lots and lots of pockets going around, so there's pockets all the way around so you can put craft tools, and it's like a waxed canvas. Very, very nice, and very, very sweet to sort of have things in. At the moment, I'm pulling colours for a project, something I'm charting. So those are some colours, and I've just popped those in there. And once I finished charting this particular sampler, I thought this will be my sort of project bag for that sampler. Really, really pretty. So that's Kahana, and it's one of their pink wax canvas craft bags. I have a big craft bag for sort of general craft tools, and when you've got these little pockets on the edges, they actually work really, really well, that you've got everything in one place and things are sticking out so that you can see exactly what they are. Okay, I think that rounds up about today. My boys are anxiously waiting. They were in here, but they wandered out to go for their walk. Ray and I, it's so lovely to be back together. Like, it's great to go away, but there is never anywhere like your home and being with your family. And it was so nice to see Ray again and the boys. So anyway, today we're going to go out for a walk. We're going to do a little bit of food shopping, fill my car back up with diesel, and oh my god, the price of fuel in this country is absolutely astronomical. I'm really glad I filled my vehicle up when I got to London so that I had a full tank. When I came home, I was about 2-3 minutes from the house and my car went into limp mode. So it was a bit of a disaster travelling home between the cases, the problems with border control for Linda and my car breaking down. But my car's been sorted out. The breakdown man came yesterday and he was able to fix it. My cases are arriving tomorrow, and Linda and I are already planning our next trip, which, if everything goes to plan and we get in, will be the Bristol weekend in June at the Attic Needleworks. We are getting together in this country for the Cross Stitch Guild retreat in April. So lots of things to look forward to. Life is getting back to normal after COVID. Thank you so much for listening to me, and stay safe, stay well. If God is kind, I'll be back next weekend with a sampler parade. Bye-bye.